Hello. Today our presentation will be on the effect of deforestation on the biosphere in the regions of Virginia. This presentation is by Cam, Zach, and Isaac. Up first we have a map of the forest cover of Virginia. If you look to the west, we have mostly hardwood forests that are pretty thick, a couple open areas. In central Virginia we have a mix of hardwood and pine forests. And on eastern Virginia, it kind of continues the mix of hardwood and pine forest with a little bit more pine. If you look to the northern Virginia region, which is right around here, you can see that there's a lot of non-forest areas or open areas. These would be such as cities, roads, things like that. The reality of logging. Virginia's forests contribute $30.5 billion to the economy annually. The things that are produced from this are lumber to make houses or buildings, paper such as computer paper or toilet paper, paper towels, cardboard for boxes, and furniture like couches. The environmental change. 55% of Northern Virginia is forest land. This means about half of it is open for buildings and roads. Population growth is leading to increased construction and further deforestation in major metropolitan areas. To continue talking about deforestation will be our next speaker, Isaac.
All right, so as far as negative effects of deforestation, I'll cover this briefly because these are pretty obvious. Obviously, a lot more runoff from parking lots and fields is going to make it into our rivers, streams, lakes, and the ocean. Very obviously, there'll be habitat loss for animals that lived in the forest. We wouldn't want to hurt the woodland critters. Surface temperatures will increase as a result of more solar radiation being absorbed by dark soils and parking lots and buildings. So going back to Zach's map of Virginia where he showed what the different types of forest were, this is a breakdown of the percentage of different types of forests in the state. So as you can see to the left here, we have mostly oak and hickory forests throughout the state, though that is declining, as you can see by the red numbers here. The big thing to take away from this is that since 1992, we've had a lot of decline in the natural forests in Virginia, and a lot of that has been replaced, but it's been replaced by what are called pine plantations, and what that actually means is Christmas tree farming, and some of that as well is for lumber. We're going to be focusing mostly on how deforestation is affecting Northern Virginia, the area around D.C., and the Potomac River. So the main reason for deforestation being such an issue in that area is the population has expanded very rapidly in the past few years. Anyone that lives in that area can speak to that. And this is a combination of the need for more housing for the increasing population and the expanding properties of commercial businesses that they require new locations as they expand, and the combination of this housing and commercial property increases really led to a lot of deforestation in the Northern Virginia area. To continue this, we've got Cam coming up next.
All right, now we're going to talk about how this affects people. The first three that I want to talk about is going to be your air quality, your water quality, and your green spaces. Air quality and your water quality are more the sciencey pieces of it. With the air quality, you're talking about the lack of trees. You have less trees to give off oxygen, and with more pollutants, and then you also have more greenhouse gases, and you need those trees to be able to dilute our air and give us back the oxygen that we need to survive. And with your water quality, we're talking about with deforestation, your runoff, your runoff getting into the soils, and then going into your rivers like the Potomac River, and just your creek beds that a lot of folks depend on. And with your green spaces, this is really important. This is more the people aspect, and with Northern Virginia, Fairfax, Arlington, D.C., you like Isaac said, you have a lot of folks moving to this area, government, military. But you also have your travelers that visit all times of the year, and they want to be outside and spend times with their families. Go to DC, sit on the lawn, and with a lack of trees, you find yourself with a lack of space, and you lack of space and shade to be able to sit down and be able to relax and actually enjoy the environment. The next piece I want to speak to is just how it relates to the physical geography. So of course, we've already spoken about how it relates to the biosphere, but it also connects with the hydrosphere and the lithosphere. With you'll see increased amounts of rainwater, standing rain. This will also affect the lithosphere as it seeps down into your groundwater, and that affects your runoff, as we've said before, and that connects right back to the hydrosphere as you'll have more sediment and more deposits reaching into our waterways. Finally, I want to talk about the solutions: political, grassroots, and education. The political aspect, we can all do something to stand up for the environmental protection of our forested areas in Northern Virginia, all over Virginia. We need to make our voices heard. This can start with the grassroots programs. All it takes is a couple people put together a plan and essentially let the folks in the local community know that something needs to be done. But it's not just about the adults and immediately acting now. We can start teaching our young children through education in the school systems, at home, and letting them know just how important the trees are for us. They enjoy being outside, but they also search for shade. They need to understand why the shade is important, not just for a place to cool off, but what the shade does for them, but also for the world around it. And that is it. This is Cam, Isaac, and Zach signing off.